am your master, your heart's beating faster like there's no minute for your soul to rest. You're only your slave, your priest and your mayor, the fall of your kingdom. Here I come. I am your master, your heart's beating faster like there's no minute for your soul to rest. You're only your slave, your priest and your mayor, sword of a new era.
Me again with another one of those crazy dreams. I swear if this keeps up, I'm going to check myself into the local insane asylum. This time I awoke to find myself in a village, but it was not the same one that I saw in my last two dreams. Well, at least the two dreams I can remember. This village was a Native American village. The tribe was gathered around a group of elders. 4 men sat in the center banging on a drum. 4 women stood around them. A group of young men carrying shields and weapons danced around the elders while the rest of the tribe danced around them. Everyone sang. At the dance's end, 8 of the armed men said a word of goodbye and left the village. I felt compelled to follow them. I found myself in the center of the group. I looked down and saw I carried a shield and a spear. Oddly enough, I was in my normal clothes. The men I traveled with were grimly silent and didn't seem to notice me. Suddenly, the woods grew deathly quiet. The stillness was broken by a deep, bellowing horn, and the green-skinned creatures poured out of the forest around us. They swarmed us like a pack of ravenous wolves around an injured deer. I fought them off as best I could until I felt a heavy object strike the back of my head. I collapsed to the ground and struggled to stay conscious. I could see my companions were in no better shape, and 2 were dead, but one of them did manage to escape. For me, everything went black. When I awoke, I found myself and the warriors I was with in a crude cage. There were 4 of them. Again, I looked down and saw myself in my normal clothing. Our hands were bound behind our backs. Several of the green-skinned creatures approached the cage and forced us out at spear point. They led us through their village while the rest of the tribe laughed at us and mocked us. This part of the village looked familiar, and soon I realized this was the way to the temple. I recognized the pillars with the strange carvings and soon realized what some of the scenes depicted. It was a human sacrifice. I was the last in line. I could see my 4 companions ahead of me being forced to kneel before the pit. I now knew that body I saw in my last dream was not a deer, but a human. They forced the first warrior to kneel, and then one of the creatures slit his throat with a long knife. The body tumbled in the pit. The second warrior followed, then the third, and finally the 4th. After what felt like hours, it was my turn. I knelt before the pit, and I saw the bodies of other men lying there, lifeless, as the blood trickled from their throats. I felt a burning sensation as a knife slashed my throat. I fell forward, and after what felt like hours had passed, I landed face up on a pile of wood and bodies. My eyesight dimmed, but I remained conscious somehow. I looked up to see one of the creatures pouring a foul, oily substance over us. A second creature threw a lit torch onto the pit, which landed by my knees. The flames spread, and I could feel myself being burned alive. I wanted to scream, but I was too weak. I woke up sweating and running a high fever. But on the bright side, I got out of school that day.
Plains, breaking bones, fading lights, burning homes. Innocence will die. Thunderstorm, violent invasion, rain of blood and fire. You don't know where to hide. In the end, fatality's rise. The empire faded away, history turning to dust. My memories will remain. Salvation ends the pain. Losing time, day for day. Vanity won't get you somewhere. Crucified, yet alive. Fading light, this life is over. Demons crawl up the wall, hunting for untainted memories. Take your life, take control. Overdrive, you can release it. The empire faded away, history turning to dust. My memories will remain. Salvation ends the pain. Flares up right now, dawn of damnation, children of war, death of the down to the core, tears of salvation. Wrath of the flares up right now, dawn of damnation, children of war. The empire faded away, history turning to dust. My memories will remain. Salvation ends the pain.
Charlie's Nightmares, Episode 4. It is 3 nights after my last dream. I am legitimately freaked out. I feel like I'm watching some sort of movie or TV show. Dream number 4, and I was back in the Native American village. Everyone was going about their daily routine when the young man who escaped the battle in my last dream came running into the village and collapsed to the ground. He had an arrow sticking out of the side of his leg. The tribe gathered around to help him as best they could. Even though I did not speak the language, I knew what he was telling them. He described the ambush and how they were taken out. Then it jumped forward to the evening. The tribe was gathered around the center of the village planning what to do. It was decided that they would form an alliance with the other tribes. Once again, time jumped forward, and I saw various messengers meeting with the other tribes as they discussed battle plans. Time once again flashed before my eyes, and I found myself standing on a ledge overlooking a clearing. I could see that horrible temple in the distance. A small group of Native Americans bravely approached the settlement. The green-skinned humanoids marched forth from their village, yelling what I assumed were taunts at the vastly outnumbered warriors. Once the green-skinned army left the safety of their walled settlement, arrows shot forth from the trees surrounding the clearing. The enemy ranks broke in confusion, but found they were routed by another group of warriors who had snuck in from behind. Hundreds of them, from different tribes, closed in on all sides and quickly overwhelmed their enemies. I then found myself among their ranks as we stormed the village, slaying men, women, and children alike. As the blood flowed, the warriors approached the temple, and we could see a large black mass darkening the sky. It was the foul god of these green-skinned humanoids. The warriors began to flee in terror as the darkness spread. But then there was a light in the blackness. It took the form of a spear. It was held by the young man who escaped the ambush. As he held the spear aloft, it started to glow, brighter than the sun, until all I could see was a pure, white light. The next thing I knew, I was back in my bed. What does this mean? Am I reliving a past life?
The second missing child this week. Police are advising residents of the area to keep a close eye on their children and report anything suspicious to the authorities. If you have any information as to the whereabouts of Daniel Hernandez or Ella Kramer, please contact the police immediately. We will keep you updated as the situation develops. When we get back from the break. In what can only be described as a scene from out of a horror movie, several hikers reported seeing robed figures in Latour State Forest marching in procession while playing flutes and drums. What intentions they had, if any, is unknown, but park rangers investigating the occurrence report they have found no signs of suspicious or illegal activity. Frank McMillan, the park's head ranger, stated he does not believe there is cause for concern, and most likely the incident was caused by a group of individuals looking to scare people, or perhaps they decided to celebrate Halloween early this year. In other news,